Now they're in the playoffs. Are they Super Bowl contenders?
That's an easy question. No, no, they're not. No, they're not.
I'm
Um,
surprised.
I'll be honest with you. I really think they're in the playoffs by default. I mean, the other two teams. We got. Let's take it back to before the season even started, when the entire world had this division as the best division in football. I mean, we were all fooled. Everyone was fooled. Okay. Jesus might have been fooled because,
Bamboozled.
man, it is horrible what we are seeing with the Raiders and what we are seeing with Denver Broncos. It's absolutely atrocious. So their record where they are, I had them there, but them in the play. I remember I had them fighting for that last spot because I thought Kansas City would be a 10-7, and they would probably tie with the Chargers because again we had the Raiders and uh, 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 the Broncos ahead of both of them in some talks.
Mhm.
So that's why the Chargers they none of them had losing records coming into the season as we would have thought it, or as we all thought. But that kind of put the Chargers at the bottom of that category at that great with that great division. But the only two teams that held on were the Chiefs, which is outstanding. They're just playing great football on the defensive end and on the offensive end. And the Chargers, again, they're in there by default. They do have a better record. They're there because again, their quarterback for his fourth year in a row has thrown for 4,000 yards. Um, so again, to me, my biggest issue with the Chargers has always been the coach. He chokes in big time games, which I think is going to happen in the playoffs. To me, he does not call good games unless they have a lead and they're just up and they're just going against a defense that just really can't handle them. He doesn't have a problem then. He goes up against like a team like a Sean McDermott defense, he's in trouble. He goes up against Kyle Shanahan's defense, he's in trouble. Okay, he gets rattled, and then he throws his team into these ridiculous five spread offenses, and then they turn the ball over. They're an average team with a good record, a decent record that got them into the playoffs, but I really don't see them doing much damage. That defense is still very, very suspect to me. And the coaching to me is very suspect. So I don't really see them even. They may make it out of the wild card weekend, but then after that, I don't see them making it past that.
Okay. Wow. I'm surprised by your answer. I thought you were gonna say yes. So I'm gonna say yes, man. I'm gonna say the y'all Super Bowl contenders. All right. I know it's surprising coming from me, right? But yeah, I'm gonna say yes. And the reason why is this. My only knock on Justin Herbert was, can you get to the playoffs? That's my only knock on him. So now he's there. And when you have a generational talent like Justin Herbert, if you're in a big dance, you are a Super Bowl contender. Because one thing about the NFL is different from the NBA. There's no 7-game series. It's one and done. So with that quarterback, they're gonna beat anybody in the NFL. And if it's like I said, like it's NFL, right? Not saying they're better than anybody, but they are capable of beating
Yeah,
anyone.
they are very capable.
Now, all right. Now you look at them. This is a good opportunity for your take. I know you said coming into the season that Herbert was a top 3 QB. This is his chance to prove that. This is his chance. I think unless you are an MVP, you have to have playoff success to be top 3. All right. Lamar Jackson, he became an MVP, and nobody doesn't put him in the top 3 because of his playoff success. But if you always go back to the MVP. All right. Aaron Rodgers, he did have a Super Bowl 10 years ago, over 2 years ago, but he's an MVP. So people still kept him on that top 3 situation. But Justin Herbert has the opportunity to be like, I'm top 3, top 2, or I'm challenging Mahomes. I'm above Josh Allen. I'm above Joe Burrow. I'm above all these guys. All right. So right now, they've been passing the ball very well all year. Obviously, they throw the ball over 40 times a game. What I'm worried about with the playoffs is a rushing attack. Obviously, they don't run the ball at all. They don't have no success at it, even though they have Austin Eckler. But one thing that is encouraging me about them is a defense. With all the injuries they have, they've been playing better in recent games. Right now, they're on a 3-game win streak, allowing 11 points a game. I know that Colts game was like playing a high school team with Nick Foles. All right, but with the Dolphins, they look great against the Dolphins. Right, and they look good. I forget who they played after that. They look good after that too. So all 3 games they haven't allowed 20-point scores. So that's good. And then you got Joey Bosa coming back. He's actually practicing this week, so he will be back.
Okay, that is
Mhm.
really actually good for them going into the playoffs. I like that.
That's
That
huge.
does boost that defense up a lot.
That's huge, man. With Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, that's gonna be
And
something
honestly,
to
that's
look
what they've been missing. They've been missing that pass rush. It's literally non-existent, and then without it, they cannot do much on the back end of football.
at. Exactly. And then you realize they've been they've been losing games ever since Keenan Allen went down. You know, and now Keenan Allen has been back. They've been back on track for real. He can't.
That's my biggest issue with both the receivers. Like they don't stay on the field for me long enough
Yeah.
for these guys to sustain good wins, to have good chances that coming up at a higher seed for the playoffs. It's like they gotta barely make it because they can barely keep their players on the field.
Especially Keenan Allen. God. That dude been hurt all year. Like he came back against the Chiefs. They lost by 3, but it's the Chiefs. And he was, he was 100%. But ever since then, they only lost 1 game to the Raiders. All right, lost to the Raiders. But yeah, man. So I'm gonna say yes, they are Super Bowl contenders because they are in the dance. I'm gonna say yes.
What would have to show it to me is if they have to play the Bills, or I would say if they have to play a top 1 or 2 team and they get past that team, then that will show me how serious this playoff run will be. Which means they can't get back, man. That means they can't get knocked out. They can't get knocked out in Wild Card Weekend.
Yeah,
they have to make it past that. It's gonna be an exciting playoffs. I really agree. A lot of new faces, a lot of new teams. It's gonna be good.
Especially in the AOC with the quarterback play. You know what I mean? Like I know this Monday coming up.
Quarterback play, by the way.
You said what?
Is young quarterback play like Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, you got Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Then we got Justin Herbert. You got Lamar Jackson. So
yes, and thank you for saying his name because no matter what anybody thinks, he belongs to be in that talk when you talk about great passers. Because I'm sorry, Duvernay and Bateman would not be receivers without Lamar Jackson because it ain't like they pass the ball great right now. It ain't like the passing game is good now. So you have to say he's up there top 5 of passing quarterbacks.
And to be honest,
at least in the AFC.
Be honest with you, I'm not trying to kill this man, but Mark Andrews, I think he's who he is because he's the only target.
Yeah.
Look, since Lamar got hurt, what has Andrews done? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to get on Andrews, but I think that Lamar makes him a little better.
Yes, because the game plan makes it that way because they know each other on the field. So it's where I was saying when I was giving Lamar's kudos about where he puts the ball when he's on the run. It's like it's the perfect position for a tight end. You can put any tight end there, to be honest with you, and they will become better or a Mark Andrews. So it's really because of where Lamar Jackson can put the ball. It's like a tight end is very important position for a quarterback like Lamar Jackson.
Sure.
So anybody could be put there and will actually have the same success because it's the system. But again, if you don't have that kind of quarterback, it's my same point with Kamara, with Alvin Kamara. He was an absolute beast with Drew Brees. Every time Drew Brees was hurt for a certain amount of time, his numbers were down every single time. And now, you see my point? Because why? Yeah. And who had better numbers? Latavius Murray behind when he was with the Saints. When he played with the backup quarterback. Why? Because he's a hole runner. Alvin Kamara is not a hole runner. He's an outside runner or a space mover. And there's nothing wrong with that. But that's where his game gets limited when he can't be an A and B hole runner.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
His numbers are going to go down.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.